My name is Marissa Ford.
And I'm Ken. Just playing. I'm Dantes.
And this is the If You Want to Listen talk show. And we are making a video to review the Barbie movie. We just saw the movie. It's actually being advertised right now on the TV as we speak.
Yep.
And it's crazy because I feel like the marketing for this movie has been epic, of epic proportions.
Everywhere you look, it's Barbie.
Everything. Like if you type Barbie into Google, it will change the whole background of the desktop and make it pink with stars. And there's a bus stop. There's a siren going on, but there's a bus stop that's pink in Hollywood. It's everywhere, and I just think that it's awesome that the movie lived up to the hype, for me at least.
Yeah, the movie was I had no expectations. I didn't know what was really happening with the plot of it, but it was really good. I was like this the whole time, and just cheesing. And I was hoping the people next to me wouldn't see how big I was smiling the whole time the movie was going. Like since it started.
Yeah, it's a feel good movie.
Yeah.
It makes you smile. It makes you feel perkier, I would say. The guy next to me, he was laughing from jump. He was laughing, and his laugh was kind of like a snicker that I was like, okay, he better not do this the whole movie. And he did, but I kind of embraced it. I kind of embraced it because it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is who I happen to be sitting next to. But it was like that. It was funny. I saw some of the advertisements of like behind the scenes of shooting it, and Ryan Gosling was talking about how funny it is, and I definitely think it was hilarious. Like, it was a funny movie. Good for the family. I did cry a couple times. I only cried like twice.
I saw you. I heard you a couple of times.
You didn't hear me. I wasn't making noise.
Look, every time I looked over, it was a little napkin like this. I'm like, it's okay.
Cause I was thinking I have to shoot this afterwards, so I didn't want it,
Yeah, but it was more than 2 times.
It was only like 2 times.
All right.
For real.
I believe you.
And I was surprised at how emotional I did get, during the movie. But I definitely think it touched on so many real, genuine topics.
Yeah, it did. And, even on your crying tip, I held a couple back because it was deep.
Mm-hmm.
It was very deep. Like, she mentioned as, when we left, that she felt seen. And, like, not in all ways that Ken was doing what he was doing, but in a lot, I felt seen too. And I was just like, wow, this wasn't just like a high budget movie that they were just doing a bunch of stuff. It had the message. The message was great.
The message was great. And they had an advertisement in the beginning. Was it in the beginning? No, I think it was, we watched the trailer. And I think on the trailer it said, whether you love Barbie or you hate Barbie,
it's for you.
This movie is for you. And I definitely think that hit it right on the head, because Barbie is an idea that I think a lot of people want to just dismiss and kind of be like, this is stupid. It's girly. It's whatever. But for me, I think of my childhood. I was a big Barbie fan when I was a little girl. Like, I just loved Barbies. I love pink. I love the Barbie Jeep. We had like a real Jeep that you could drive around in. And I think my sister had like the Barbie Corvette. It was just glam and something like you aspire to live a life like that when you're a kid. Like, that would be a dream, to have a dream house, And I don't really know of any other toys that have that iconic line of things that you can buy and purchase and have, and I think it's human nature to want those things.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I lost my notes for the things I want to talk about, but I wanted to talk about like the Barbie movie for men. Like, what do you think? Why do you think it's a good movie for men?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And what do you think men? I know it's hard for you to speak for your gender, but like, you know, because guys are probably gonna be like, oh, I don't want to go see the Barbie movie. You know?
Yeah. So.
And even you wore pink.
Yeah. Listen. I was feeling myself in this shirt, first of all.
You were.
All right. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. But, nah, so the movie itself, I didn't know what to expect. I was, okay, we just going to throw the gloves off. I was really hoping that I wouldn't fall asleep out of being able to relate before going into it. And then it started. And the second they talked about little girls playing with baby dolls and seeing the conditioning of you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to take care of people.
Okay.
Right away, I was like, I'm hooked. So that was very interesting because for us, the toys, because I used to play with wrestling toys and stuff like that. So the toys that we would play with, it would be just a lot of it, I guess it's called conditioning, but cowboys and Indians, fighting, hurting, cap guns, stuff like that.
Cops and robbers,
exactly. So the toys, that's the first impression. And then for Barbie to be introduced, the way that they did it, I think it was great. But as far as what the men will get from it, if anything, I feel like the universal thing that they talked about was just the conditioning, the things that we play with and stuff like that.
Gender norms.
Exactly. So it makes sense as to how this generation of, our generation are the way that we are with Instagram and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
And in Barbie Land, Ken is just an addition. He's doesn't have his own. He's Barbie's Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said something before we saw the movie, like Barbie's was G.I. Joe's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like that's in your world.
Right.
The woman was just the girlfriend.
Listen, and I don't even mean to cut you off, but I literally saw when a girl was playing with the toys, and you could see when the boys was playing with the toys. And although it was obvious when it happened early on, like later on, but I could see when it would happen early on. Like, just certain things that Ken would do. The boys would take over whenever the Kens would have like a dance off or a fight or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
And, call it character development or that's a character choice, but the subliminal message was probably the boys playing with the toys. But that's just something thinking deeper about it. But
I say that to say that it definitely put things in perspective for me that we need to value the other gender way more than we do.
Facts. Yeah. And, I loved when he said, I am Ken, Because
Ken is me.
Ken is me, yeah. And sheesh. It was deep. It was so deep. It was like there's much more to all of us than we realize. Like, for some men we try to show off for the girl and think that because we got the girl that makes us valuable, or because we got the attention that makes our opinions valid, or whatever the case may be.
But it's basing your value off of somebody else's opinion of you, and that is a recipe for disaster.
Exactly.
So everybody's wearing pink to the theater, so I definitely felt, and we got a compliment on the way in. So you guys look great, by the way. It was super cute because there was a photo booth on the outside of the theater that we took pictures in, and if I can scan it, I'll show it. Yeah, but I just think that the movie definitely, I don't know how other people are going to perceive it, but for me, when I say I felt seen, I felt understood, of the standards for women to be all of these things. And I even, when I was listening to her speech, I was thinking, I'm sure men probably feel the same. Like, they're supposed to be this, they're supposed to be this, they're supposed to be this, they're supposed to be this. Like, each gender, I feel like, has to live up to some divine definition of woman or man, and
we put so much weight on success, responsibility, that the movie really showed that like we aren't just us. We are trying to be all of these things, like you just said, and trying to do so much when like we putting that stress on ourselves out here. We really are.
Yeah, but it's kind of bred into us.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
Like Barbie is the dream. She's the standard of perfection, and she was struggling with being that because nobody is that. So, I don't know. I feel like when she talked about wanting to be liked, I think that a lot of people feel that way, and especially with trying to, make a name for yourself in life, it makes it hard to not want people to like you and to not want to look your best and be happy about everything. And I definitely think the movie takes those aspirations off the pedestal. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
To where it's like we can be ourselves and that can be enough. Like Ken had a sweatshirt at the end that said, "I'm Kenough." And that's pretty much what the message is about, is like understanding that you are awesome, whether you're the president or you're ordinary Barbie or you're Ken.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know if I have any more things that I want to say. Oh, I wanted to talk about being on the Barbie box, because the song that Billie Eilish sang for the movie is What Was I Made For? And pretty much it's about what it's called, like it's the story of Barbie, and she's just wondering like what her purpose is. And when I saw all the Barbie madness and all the advertisements for the movie coming out, I thought about when I was little and I modeled for the Barbie box, and that was pretty much the coolest thing I had ever done ever, like to be on a Barbie box, because I was such a fan of just Barbie. And so to be able to bring those out and look at them, it really made me see, because that version of myself, she was very innocent. Like she had no idea that I would get to this age and still be trying to prove myself and prove my worth to the world, which is crazy. So I thought it was interesting to be able to kind of have that own battle with myself just by reminiscing about being on the Barbie box, because when you're a kid doing stuff like that, you don't think what life is going to be like in 20 plus years.
Right. It was exactly what what Margot was struggling with in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And when you say Margot, it makes me think of the acting, and I want to talk. I do want to talk about the acting. Margot Robbie she's a chameleon. As much as she has like a symbolic, iconic look, I think that she's really able to transform into all the people that she plays. She played Barbie perfectly. I believe she was Barbie.
For real. Like, Margot, she was flawless, and the acting was on point. On point.
Ryan Gosling.
Man.
He's an OG. Like,
hey, we don't. There's so many actors that we grew up watching from kids and to the adulthood, and he is one that every time you see him on screen, you can't hate Ryan Gosling for nothing. That man he's great.
He's great.
He did a really good job.
I think he played a tool so well.
Oh, shit, a heartbroken tool. It was hilarious.
It was beautiful, and they had a lot of songs, and I think the songs, a lot of times when songs come on in a movie, you're like, oh, God, here it goes. But I think the song and dance numbers were really seamless with the storytelling. I
think there's going to be some dancing scenes in there that we're going to remember for a while, because everything the choreography was great. Yeah, man, I was pleased. I was pleased with the whole thing.
Me too. What would you rate it out of 10?
8.5.
What would make it a 10?
What would make it a 10? You're going to hate me for saying this, but I was thinking about this before we even left. What would I rate it? Then I said 10, but I don't know. I don't know.
If you don't know, then how can it not be a 10?
I don't know, because I feel like it was a 10 when I saw it, but I just didn't want to give it a 10.
Why not? Because 10s are just...
It's just...
Because it's not perfect. What would be a 10? So whenever I ask this question to people, I like to say, okay, well, why would it? Why is it not? Because we hesitate in giving out those high ratings because you don't want to be too lenient.
Yeah,
but
and it's so much.
If you thought 10 after you saw it, then like, what was the difference?
What was the difference?
Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, okay, cool. I would say it was a 10 because it took me on all of the the range of emotions.
Yeah.
And I was interested the whole time.
Yeah. Dang.
The acting was great.
That would make it a 10, though. That would make it a 10. Because I have a moment where I wasn't cheesing. So I really should be giving it a 10 without thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to go with a 10. They get my final.
I persuaded you.
Yeah. You ain't have to persuade me, but I had to think about it. I had to
Okay.
think about it, make sure I wasn't being too
harsh,
too nice about it, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This ain't no free Barbie promo or nothing, you know. So
no, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me think. It made me feel understood. It made me understand her story and why she is who she is and other people's side of the coin, the people that don't like Barbie. Like, I felt like I got that too.
And you know, I feel like if anybody says that at any point in that movie that they were pushing an agenda, like, they might have to look in the mirror, because I feel like nothing was pushed. I feel like it was a topic that needed to be discussed, especially as a man who...
A bunch of topics.
A bunch, you know. And being a man who especially values a woman's opinion on things, I think that everything was just hit on the nose, you know?
Yeah.
Even for me, like, to be like, honestly, I got a little uncomfortable with some topics, but it was like, fuck, I gotta fight through that because this is their truth.
Same.
I don't have no right to have an opinion on this because I don't know what that is. I don't know what y'all experiences are.
Yeah.
So even when we have certain talks about the future and stuff like that, I saw how I think like Ken.
Yeah.
I saw how you think like Barbie.
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, God dang.
I saw myself.
We so typical.
Wow. And just like when she apologized to him for taking it for granted, I was like, dang, like she saw, like, cause he's so sweet and he's all for you, but when you take somebody for granted, like, what's to keep them from being like, screw you then, you know?
Yeah.
But we're so focused on our mission that we're not thinking about that.
Right. And
it definitely taught me some stuff. So I feel like that's a 10.
Yeah, that's a 10. That's a 10. That's a 10. All right,
go see it.
Yep. Yeah, it's time.
Wear pink.
Hey, somebody was suited and booted. I don't know if that's the person to ever see this. A full
hot
suit.
Pink suit.
Bruh. Where did you get that?
Okay.
No, I'm just playing.
Thanks for watching.
Thank y'all.